Number 5. Now, I feel like if you're being arrested for a crime, the last thing you want to do is make things even worse for yourself, but that's exactly what this girl did. I mean, she got pulled over by a cop who was suspicious of her driving, and it turned out she was driving with a suspended license. Now that's already pretty bad, I know, but things got way worse back at the station because her strip search discovered something weird. There's no nice way to put this, but the jailer was checking the prisoner's private parts and noticed she was literally hiding something inside her. Yeah, that's right, the 19-year-old girl had a tiny revolver hidden inside her vagina, and she had managed to stash it there while she was being pulled over. It's pretty freaking wild, but even crazier when you know the full story, because she had actually stolen that gun out of someone else's car a few years ago. I'm not sure who I feel worse for in the situation, to be honest, but it's a tie between the poor jailer who had to remove the gun and the owner who eventually got it back.
An East Tennessee woman arrested for driving on a suspended license now faces felony charges for taking contraband into jail. Authorities say 19-year-old Dallas J. Archer was hiding a loaded gun inside her vagina. Archer was processed at the jail in Kingsport on Monday afternoon. During the booking process, a female officer reportedly detected an unknown item in Archer's crotch. Officials say the .22 caliber mini revolver was...
Number 4. When you were little, did you ever believe that eating seeds will make a tree grow inside you? Or is that something my parents made up to freak me out? Either way, it turns out it's not such a crazy idea, because plants really can start to grow inside a human body. I know it sounds crazy, but when this guy went in for some x-rays on his chest, a shape showed up that doctors thought was a tumor. Obviously they wanted to operate, but they didn't find a tumor at all, just a literal fir tree growing in his lung. I mean it, the thing was a full 2 inches long and still growing, but even the doctors didn't know how it got there. It's actually a shame that they had to take it out, because this kind of thing was supposed to be impossible, and even the people operating on him couldn't explain it. So I guess it's confirmed that if you eat seeds, you turn into a superhero plant man? I'll take a pass on.
Trees can grow almost anywhere, out of cement, out of basements, but in your lungs? They're saying this Russian man must have inhaled a fir tree seed. Surgeons thought he had a cancerous tumor. He was coughing blood, but when they operated...
What is it? What could it be? I was simply shocked.
They found a tiny fir tree. In his lung, that tree grew to a size of about 2 inches. The patient said he was just glad it wasn't cancer, but he couldn't explain it.
Maybe I inhaled the fir tree bud somehow, but I don't remember.
Now, even the weatherman is cracking jokes.
Yesterday, I inhaled a sesame seed.
Oh, no.
And I grew a Big Mac, I think, in my lung.
And kids are citing the tree in the lung as proof of what their parents once warned.
Don't eat watermelon seeds or a watermelon will grow inside of you.
Of course there are skeptics, and a Russian plant expert says...
This is absolutely impossible that a green plant could have grown inside a human body from this small seed.
It needs light, water, and a certain temperature, though a spokesperson for London's Royal Botanic Gardens told The Guardian a seed might be able to germinate in the damp, dark conditions of a lung. Talk about evergreen.
Number 3. So if the cops want to check out what's inside a house, they have to get a search warrant first, right? Well, everybody knows that, but you might not know what else you need a search warrant to take a look at. I mean, this woman stole a $35,000 Rolex watch, and she thought she'd hid it in a pretty safe place, but that didn't stop the cops from eventually getting it back. Basically, the police had to get a search warrant with permission to literally take a look inside the suspect, and only then was she allowed to get an x-ray. With that said, once she did it, it was pretty clear what she had done, because there was the watch, sitting in a place so private, she figured no one could take it back. Once the cops knew about it, the doctors could go ahead and remove it, and I'm guessing it eventually ended up back with its original owners. The thing is, I'm not sure I'd want to wear a watch that had been inside somebody's body, even if it was worth someone's freaking college tuition.
Credit cards, money, spoons, knives, forks. I've seen PVC piping that people have made their own sexual toys. I've seen metal rods, highball glasses, light bulbs, candles.
This isn't your typical medical emergency.
In this case, a search warrant had to be obtained in order to retrieve property that was put in a very private spot.
The medical implications can be serious.
Just feeling around here.
Could be fevers, chills, or they perforate.
The first step is to x-ray her abdomen. And there it is, the $35,000 presidential Rolex watch.
Number 2. So this list so far has been full of people who put seriously weird items inside themselves, but this one is a little different. I mean, yeah, there's still something in her body that seriously shouldn't be there, but the difference is, it wasn't actually her fault. That's right, she ended up with a pair of super sharp medical scissors inside her, and she didn't even know they were there. So how did it happen? Well, this woman went in for surgery to have part of her colon removed, and after that, she was supposed to be completely fine. The thing is, she started getting insane levels of pain inside her abdomen, and eventually went back to the doctors to see what was going on. Now everyone said that was just normal recovery pain, but she insisted on an x-ray, and I bet she's super glad she did. The x-ray showed that a surgeon had literally left his scissors inside her body after cutting off part of her colon, and then had sewn her up without taking them out again. Oops.
See my doctor again, and I said, look, I just feel like I've been in a fight. I've fallen on the floor and somebody's been kicking me with steel cat boots. I said, I think my tailbone is crumbling. So she said, okay, well, we'll send you up for an x-ray.
You said, I'd like an x-ray.
Yeah, that's right, I did. I said,
my wife instigated the x-ray. That's the amazing thing, that in all this time, not one person would suggest a fundamental thing like an x-ray.
No.
Finally, an answer to the mystery. There, inside her abdomen, was a pair of 17-centimetre surgical scissors.
I was just in tears. I was just, it was just such a shock.
Pat Skinner had been living with the scissors inside her for a year and a half. It's little wonder she felt that her tailbone was crumbling. The razor-sharp instrument, slightly open, had wedged itself up against her coccyx.
You find that difficult to look at, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Why is that?
I just can't believe that, I had those things inside me for such a long time.
I just think it's obscene. It's just, that's the only way I can describe it. To see such a thing inside a person and where they are, it's just...
Number 1. So this is another super crazy case that wasn't the guy's fault. In fact, I'm pretty sure this dude deserves a medal for what he had to go through. I mean, seriously, he ended up with a live grenade embedded in his face, and surgeons had to try and get it out without setting it off. Like, obviously they couldn't take him to the hospital in case the helicopter ride triggered it, so he had to be operated on right where he was, which turned out to be a freaking parking lot. It was a very long and super tense operation, but they did successfully manage to get it out of him, as well as get rid of it safely after that. It's pretty crazy, and I think the surgeons who did the operation also deserve some praise, since basically everyone in this story acted like a hero. With that said, the soldier at the time wasn't even being attacked, which kind of confuses me as to how this grenade got there to begin with. The only thing I could think of might be like a grenade launcher, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below, cause I'm stumped.